If you want to grow on Instagram, one of the most important spots to focus on is your Instagram profile. Now, your profile is made up of a whole bunch of different things, and so I want to go over each of those things today so that you can optimize it and see better results. The reason that your profile is so important is because when we really think of the journey of someone who wants to follow you, they usually find one of your posts in the explore page or something like that, and then they click on your profile. And so if your profile is not looking its best, they might leave and not follow you. So let's get into my 8 ways that you can update your Instagram profile to see better results. But first, hello, my name is Sarah and I post social media tips and business tips and selling tips and all that sort of stuff. So if you are a business owner or a creator looking to grow on social media, I promise you're gonna love it here. Make sure to subscribe and let's get on to the video. So I am basing all of this off of my free profile checklist. And the coolest part is that I'm making this available to you. So if you wanna grab this free checklist, it's gonna be down in the description. It's really helpful to have all of these things laid out for you. You can even print it, check it off as you're done. Go ahead and click the link in the description. You'll get that free checklist. It's totally free, so why not? And let's get started. So the first way to optimize your profile is to set up your username correctly. Now, if you are trying to grow a personal brand or your business relies a lot on you, then I do recommend having your name somewhere in this username just so that we really get to know you and not just your business name, I guess you could say. The key to a great username, in my opinion, is making it catchy and something that we can remember easily. Because one of the worst things is when we find an account that we like and then we can't remember what they call themselves because it's like some weird username. So just keep it catchy, keep it short. That's usually my suggestion. You can definitely have your industry in your username. Like for example, my account is sarahgav.social because obviously I post social media tips, duh. But again, I don't think it's fully necessary. The main thing with the username is keeping it short, sweet, to the point, and easy to remember. So let's move on to number 2, which is the profile picture. Now, you might not think that your profile picture is important, but it's actually one of the most important parts of your profile because just like your username, your profile picture shows up everywhere that you show up on Instagram. So if you are commenting on someone else's reel, we see your profile picture. If we visit your profile, the first thing that we see is your profile picture. So you want to make sure that it really stands out and captures you, your essence, the essence of your brand, if it's a logo. My best practices for a profile picture is if you're gonna make it a picture of your face, make it super bright, make it easy to see. We wanna see your face, not like a picture of your entire body. That's a little bit hard for us to connect with. Possibly add some colors in there that really represent you and your overall branding. And I would recommend looking directly in the camera. It's like a psychological thing that when we see your eyes and when you are looking at us, we connect with you more. So if you could have a face forward picture where you're just smiling into the camera, I always think that that's the best. On the other side of that, if you are using a logo instead of a profile picture, that is totally fine. Just keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, you don't want to have text in this profile picture if it's going to be really, really small. You got to remember that we're looking like this at your profile image. And so if you have a logo in there and the text is this big, there's no way that we're going to be able to read it. And so it's better, in my opinion, to keep that out, maybe change it up a little bit just for your profile picture. Remember, that picture is really, really small. So you want to make sure that your logo, if you do use one, is optimized. We can see it, we can recognize it right away. The idea behind your profile picture is being really easily recognizable when you do show up in things like comment sections and things like that. So just keep that in mind when you pick either your picture or your logo to go on your profile. The third way to optimize your profile is your name line. Now, this is different than your username. Your name line is the bolded line that shows up above your bio. And so many people totally miss the mark on this name line because it is fully searchable. Now listen, I have an entire other video where I went over Instagram SEO and how you can make your profile more searchable. So if you want to check that out, I'm gonna leave it in the up here thing, and I'll also leave it in the description below. I'm not gonna dive too much into that because I do have a whole other video on that, but essentially, the more keywords that you can pack into this name, the better. So you don't want it to just say Sarah Gav, you want it to say Sarah Gav, social media manager, Instagram coach, something along those lines where it's we have those keywords in there. So now if someone is searching for a social media manager, my profile is more likely to pop up simply because I have it in my name line. So think of some keywords in your industry that people are often searching and make sure to include it in the name line. The fourth way to optimize your profile is your bio. Now listen, your bio is incredibly important and not a lot of people really focus on this bio, but when someone comes to your page, one of the first things that they read, even if it's subconsciously, is your bio. So you want to remember that your bio is not for your followers. The goal of your bio is to get someone to follow you. And so you want to give them a reason to follow. Tell them exactly what you post to make them take that step of clicking that button. One big mistake that I see a lot of people make is using your bio as almost like a resume in a way, where you're saying like, hi, I'm Sarah, I do this, I'm certified in that, I have 1 million clients. Like, yeah, that's great. It tells us a lot about you, but at the end of the day, I hate to say it, people only really care about themselves. They want to know what they're going to get from hitting that follow button and following you. And so if you're just telling me all about you, like that's not enticing at all. Use your bio to not just tell us about you, not just tell us about what you sell, because odds are we're not there yet. Tell us why we should follow you. What do you post that makes us want to follow first? And then eventually we build up the trust to buy from you. We build up the trust to like you, all that stuff, but convince us, why should I follow you? What makes you different? Number 5 thing to optimize in your profile is your link. Going back to the bio really quickly, the last line of your bio, I always recommend having a call to action that tells us why we should click this link. But let's talk about what's actually in your link. My suggestion, if you are a business owner or someone looking to grow a community, grow your email list, my suggestion is always to have a freebie in your link, because it's really hard to get someone to buy from you on the initial like meet. It's like, you know, I'm not gonna propose to you on our first date, you know what I'm saying? But if you have some sort of free guide, now when someone comes to your profile for the first time and they read your bio and they see, oh, she's got a free, 5 reels template guide or whatever it is, let me click that, let me download it, and now they're part of your email list. Now, when it comes to the actual link in your bio, there are 2 different things that you can do. You can either just directly lead to one single landing page, or you can use like a link in bio tool. I'm a fan of just leading to one single page of your website, because in my opinion, when you confuse, you lose. And so if you have a link tree that's got like 50 million links in it, that's really hard to get somebody to figure out like, oh my gosh, which one do I click? What do I even want? I don't even know. And then they leave. So just keep that in mind when you're setting up your link. You don't want to confuse anybody. And so I always recommend just one single page that leads to one single thing. And if they want another thing, they can just find it on your website through like the menu, you know? The 6th way to optimize your profile is your highlights. I don't think your highlights are like as important as maybe they once were, but I think they're still important. You still have them there. Some highlights that I would suggest adding to your profile are definitely some sort of like start here or about me, something that tells us like what you post, who you are, why we should trust you, I guess. If you sell products, I would have a products highlight or some way that we can see like how to actually buy from you. Same thing with services. I would list out maybe the different services that you offer, something like that in a highlight that's really easy to identify. If you have any reviews or testimonials from previous clients or customers, I would definitely have that in a highlight, because social proof is so important to get us to actually trust you enough to buy from you. And then maybe some others that are specific to your industry. So maybe like tips, tax, I don't know. If you have a freebie, I would have some sort of highlight that just says free and just talks about your freebie to get people to hopefully download it. Those are pretty much the highlights that I would recommend. The 7th way to optimize your profile, we are almost done, is your pinned posts. I think it was last year at this point, Instagram allowed us to pin 3 posts to the top of our profile and also to the top of our Reels page as well. Now, you'll hear lots of different opinions from other social media managers, coaches, whatever, about what should actually be pinned at the top. In my opinion, I think it should be one post that explains you. So like it tells us about you, tells us about your journey, something that like gives us insight into who you are. One post that promotes something. In my opinion, it would probably be some sort of freebie just to get people into your email list, get that community going, but it also can be your course or your product or, whatever, some sort of bestseller. So again, just something like promotional. And then the 3rd post that I would pin is any piece of content that did like really, really well for you. Disclaimer, if it did really well, but like doesn't have to do with your niche, doesn't help your business at all, then I wouldn't pin that. A viral reel about your dog when your entire account is about your coaching business, that's not gonna help. So that's not what I mean. But if you do have some sort of reel or post that did extremely well for you, that does have to do with your niche, then I would probably pin that one as well. Again, this is not at all a one size fits all. This is just what I would probably recommend, but you can change it up depending on what you think should be pinned on your profile. And the last way to optimize your profile, number 8, is your reel covers. So I guess I should say like reel covers and also like overall branding, because that's a really important part of your profile. Another disclaimer, aesthetics on Instagram are no longer the most important thing. So back in like 2014, we all cared about the Instagram aesthetic. It's gotta look beautiful, whatever. We don't really care about that nowadays because we just want value. We just want good content. But in my opinion, having some sort of branding does absolutely help to at least make your profile look a little more appealing. Now, I'm not at all gonna get into branding in this video. That is a whole other concept that honestly, I'm not even an expert in. I've had help with my own branding. I didn't even do it myself. But there are little things that you can do to your reel covers, to your graphics, all that stuff to really optimize it for your overall profile and the success of your account. And one of the biggest tips is simply adding text to your reel covers that tells us why we should actually click on that reel and watch it. Not enough people do this, and it is so important and so helpful to your growth. Give us a reason to click. Write something on that cover that makes me actually want to watch. That's gonna be really, really helpful in giving you more views. And it's so easy to do. And same thing goes with your carousels. Be super intentional when you create graphics and things like that, that the first slide of that graphic is really easy to see when you then post it on your home feed. If the text is super small and super tiny, it's hard to see and it doesn't look great on your overall profile. So just keep all these things in mind. So those are the 8 pieces of your Instagram profile that I would recommend focusing on if you want to see better results. Again, I do have my profile checklist in the description. So if you want to see, all of this laid out, you can print it out, you can, check it off as you go. It's going to be really helpful. Go ahead and grab it in the description. It's totally free, available to you right now. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the video and supporting my channel. And last but not least, thank you so much for subscribing and liking the video. Did you like it yet? I'll give you a second. Go like the video. I know you enjoyed it, so go like it. Again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to absolutely love my next video on Instagram SEO. I know I talked a little bit about the name line and about how you can optimize it for the search engine. And so if you're interested in learning how you can optimize your Instagram with some keywords in multiple different ways, go ahead and watch that video next. It's up on the screen and I will see you there. Bye-bye.